Reese, my friend, let's start clapping and cheering. Spread the positivity. And welcome to the stage, Al Thompson!
All right. Going to start this off by addressing the elephant in the room, which is unfortunately me. Now, there are a few things you can't really do at this size, like run a marathon, pole vault, go out a bath. There's that thing they do in gangster films, they lift up their t-shirt to threaten somebody, just showing they've got a gun on them. If I had to do it, they wouldn't be able to see it for the overhang. They'd think I was threatening them with diabetes. But I have recently joined the gym. Thank you. I mean, I say recently, I did join 5 years ago, but I seem to be stuck as a before picture. Yeah, I knew that I had to join the gym when I got both my ears pierced and got the nickname of Fat Butcher. Or when I was outside playing with my oldest daughter and she handed me a hula hoop and it fit. But no, I thought to myself, you know, if I'm going to join the gym, I'm going to take it seriously, you know. So I got myself a PT, which is a personal trainer for those of you that don't go to the gym, like myself. And he says, what I want you to do is I want you to write out a food diary. So write down everything that you eat during the week and bring it in and show us, and like, don't lie, like, take it seriously. So I thought, right, I need to take this seriously, I need to fix myself. So I wrote down everything that I ate during the week and took it in and showed him. And he said it looked as if I ate like I was in death row. But the folk in death row have got a higher life expectancy. And I knew myself that I kind of had to fix my eating and stuff, because when I ordered stuff for Greg's, I ordered it like countdown, you know, like one for the top and 4 for anywhere else. And I got myself one of the bottles, you know, one of the bottles that have got the writing down the side of them. It's like the top one, it's like taste me, and then it's like, oh, keep going, and then it's like I'm nearly there, and then it's like finish me off. I'm like, is this wanting me to shag it? But you know, back so the guy looked at the things I was eating and was like, you can't be eating like this. What you need to be eating? You need to be eating things like chopped chicken and kale and avocado. So I thought, right, let's do this. So I went to the supermarket and went up to the till with my chopped chicken and my kale and my avocado, and my bank cancelled my card because they thought it was fraud. And he said, what part of your body is it that you want to work on? Like, is it your back or your arms or your legs? And I said, just make sure my hand's big enough so they can't fit in a tube of Pringles. I was on the train the other day, and there was an announcement over the tannoy that says, if you see something that doesn't look right, then please report it. And I was reported 3 times. But I do usually drive, and there was an advert on the telly that says, drive as if your gran's in the car. And I thought, you know, that's a great sentiment if your gran is still alive. My gran's been dead for 7 years, so I just drive around screaming and crying. Spraying air freshener. These like impressions? Good, because I've got some. Do you remember the X Factor? Do you remember the guy who used to read out the names in the X Factor? Well, one year there was a woman called Rachel Adedeji. And this is him introducing Rachel and the DJ.
Rachel, at a DJ.
And the next impression I've got, there's no segues, there's no stories, I can just 2 impressions, so you're going to hear 2 impressions. This next one's pretty loud, so I do apologise. But this is a dog getting its tail stepped on. Do you want me to do it again? That's to prove it wasn't a recording. But it's great. It's great gigging in here. I love Blackfriars. Like a lot of places you do a gig, they're not as nice as in here. Like last place I was in, there was a sign on the toilet wall, and it said, "Please only flush toilet paper." So I shat in the sink. And I feel as if you've got to know me a bit better, so, you know, I'm going to let you into a wee secret. So, unfortunately, I do suffer from premature ejaculation. This is when I'm glad I can't see somebody's face. So I was in sex with my wife the other night, and I was about to finish, and I says to her, you know, where do you want my stuff? And she said, preferably inside you for another 20 minutes. Yeah, but I've got 2 kids, so it comes out quick, but it works. And before I became a dad, you know, I said, you know, I'm going to get down on my hands and knees, I'm going to play with them, I'm going to build stuff with them and things like that. And then they get here and you just cannot be arsed. So I just shoved my oldest into a room with an iPad to watch YouTube. But it's backfired a bit because now she's telling me that George Bush done 9/11 and the Queen was a lizard. And we used to watch a lot of true crime documentaries, me and my wife, before we became parents. And it was these things like people killing Waynes and stuff. And you're thinking, how can MD do that? And my second Wayne doesn't sleep for 11 months. So we rewatched them for tips. I've got a bit of an announcement. I've finally got my own drug dealer. Yeah, that is a big step for me. You know, if I wanted drugs or anything like that, like my pals would need to go to a drug dealer for me, and I thought they were just being nice, but I realised it's because I'm a fucking redneck. So I went to find this drug dealer, and I went up and spoke to him, and I drove into his flat. No, in his flat. That was after the drugs. And he was saying to me, he's like, do you want to be kind of tester before you go? And I says to him, why? But is it illegal to smoke this and drive? And he said, it's illegal to smoke this. I don't give a fuck what you do after it. So he held it out to me, and instead of taking it off him because I'm nervous and I'm a redneck, I just kind of bent down and started sooting. And it was the most homoerotic thing I've ever done in my life. It wasn't my fault for looking up while I was doing it, right now. But I did jump my car after it because, you know, we weren't giving a fuck what I was doing after it. I just had to go to there. And I was driving home on the motorway, and I drove by a sign that says, don't drive tired. And I thought, you know what you want me to do, walk? Because then I will be more tired. You know? as I say, you know, I've got 2 daughters, and it's great to see the way the world's going now and everything that women are able to do now that they weren't able to do before. Like there was a woman referee during the Euros there, and she booked one of the players, you know, and he come up to her and says, "What's that all about? What did you book me for?" And she says, "See, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you." So I'm going to finish with this one. So there is a Chinese takeaway round my bit, and what I used to do, they're called the Dragon Inn, and what I used to do is I used to phone them on really quiet nights, you know, it'd be like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Phone them, and there'd be one ring, and they'd go, "Hello, Dragon Inn," and I'd go, "I fucking bet it is," and put the phone down. I've been Al Thompson. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Al Thompson, everybody!